This is the new Hohem iSteady V3, a brand new gimbal for your mobile phone device from Hohem. I've actually reviewed some of Hohem's gimbals in the past and I've been really impressed with this. Now it's not perfect, but I will talk about the cons later on in the video. But if you put a wish list together for me of the stuff I'd expect from a mobile phone gimbal, this pretty much has everything on that list. But first of all, let's start with stabilisation, because that is basically what this does for your mobile phone. They say the best camera is the one you have with you. Most of us have mobile phones. Majority of the population of the world has mobile phones in their pocket. So stabilisation first is the test that I did to see if it does actually work as a stabiliser. If it didn't, we'd have a bit of a problem. So this is a bit of footage of me walking in a straight line towards my son Jake while he was taking some photos a few weeks ago, in a straight line, holding the gimbal out in front of me, and we get really good stabilised smooth footage. It works very, very well. And in comparison, this is a bit of footage of me just walking that same route, hand holding the mobile phone like so. So you can see the advantage of having something like this to get really good stabilised footage with your mobile phone. It works for that purpose, so if you're just after something simple to get good stabilised footage, this is a good option straight off the bat. On top of that, it's packed, absolutely packed of smart AI features, but not just AI features, because I don't want to dive too much into that. That is probably one of the cons which I want to talk about later on, but everything else about this is really practical, really easy to use. One, it folds up really neatly, so it's very small, it's compact, it's pocketable, unlike other devices on the market. So it folds up neatly. It's got a built-in mount for your phone, which actually does work, as you can see, with a case. I've got the case on my iPhone 15 Pro Max here, so it works perfectly with this and no problems at all. So any phone really, this is probably one of the biggest phones you can buy on the market, and I've got a case on here, so any phone you've got, this is going to be sort of compatible with, no problem at all. Next, it has a built-in tripod, a really clever design actually. It actually fits inside of the handle of the gimbal itself, so these little bars just sort of fold down and they push up into the handle, so you can just sort of flip them down with your nails like that, pull them down and then open it up, and you've got this little tiny, quite steady and rugged tripod. These legs are made of metal and it does stand up very nicely on most surfaces, so that's something that I've been super impressed with. So you've got four modes. You've got lock, which is basically locks everything in place, so you can get some nice sort of pan shots like that. You've got pan follow, which does exactly what it says on the tin, follows left and right. Pan follow something left and right, right to left, you can do that. You've also got pan tilt follow, which goes down, up like that, so it adds the tilt to the pan follow. And then you've also got POV, which is sort of like FPV, gives you that inception kind of mode to your footage, and POV look to it if you want to get some creative shots as well. So you've got that, and then it goes back to lock. Works very well. Those are the four modes you've got with the gimbal built in. Check this little feature out. Watch this. That is a removable remote that works via Bluetooth. So you can put this down with the built-in tripod somewhere and control the gimbal with this. We've got left and right, so you can change it. You can change the mode, you can record, you can take selfie photos. Everything can be controlled from this little unit. It is essentially the unit that controls the gimbal anyway, but then it's removable via magnet. You pop it back in and you can carry on. And note that I haven't stopped recording. When that takes out, it doesn't affect any of the recording or anything. This is just built in there, and it controls everything via Bluetooth, so there's no interruption to your recording. So how cool is that? So the next thing that the gimbal features is this little AI module on top of the gimbal, which is this little fella. Doubles as a fill light as well. So this actually uses gesture control to track you smartly using AI. So because the Hohem has got a built-in tripod as well, three really stable legs that just pop out, come out of the actual handle itself, you can use gesture control to track yourself. So if you want to put it down and do some kind of walk-by shots or whatever, or do some walking and talking with the camera tracking you, you can do that as well. My only gripe with it is that, as with the other gimbals on the market, when you're tracking yourself and you're using like selfie mode, it has too much of a gap above your head. I want them to sort of reduce it down a little bit. It's surely just a simple software update, but when you're vlogging, you have to sort of adjust it down a little bit. The tracking does automatically leave too much of a gap above your head, and you sort of just, your face is sort of the center of the frame rather than the top half, and that is my only gripe when it comes to using the AI tracking for face tracking and vlogging. Apart from that, if you want to set this down, walk around left to right, right to left, it will track you, it will track different subjects, and you can do some walk-by shots for vlogs and stuff. It's very, very, very clever indeed. It does work very well. The gesture control with my testing, now bear in mind this is sort of a pre-release model. It's not the original software that's going to come with the ones that are sold to you guys if you do purchase one of these. Then the start and stop didn't work 100% all of the time, but that is to be expected from a brand new model. They'll iron out those bugs when it comes to the software, I'm sure. I'd say 90%, 85, 90% it worked with the gesture controls, start, stop recording and start and stop tracking. It worked fine. You can actually shoot in portrait and in landscape, so you double tap on the mode button and it puts it into sort of portrait mode for vlogging in vertical, or you're doing TikTok videos or something. Now you notice that the camera is upside down. You can change that in the application. You have to go into the app and sort of change the orientation of the AI module to this side, and it will flip it so the camera's above. So depending on how you want to shoot, I've found that, you know, shooting with the wide angle lens with the lens down there and not having to sort of mess about with it, you know, work fine. It's also got a selfie stick built in, so that's a great feature if you want to get some longer shots, some down low shots. So overall, I've been super impressed with this. It can do the basics very well. It's got all of the features you'd expect from a really high quality mobile phone gimbal. Stabilisation, which is the most important thing, is really, really good. I've got some really nice shots of this out and about. So you've got everything you'd expect from a high quality mobile phone gimbal. There are a few cons. Like I said, it's not perfect, and you know, hopefully they'll be able to iron out some of these things with software. But I've just noticed that compared to something like Hohem's M6 gimbal, which is more of a rugged device with bigger motors, that the motors sometimes aren't quite as powerful as I'd hoped they'd be. You go so far and then it will not be able to hold the phone, or it'll do that, switch around. So yeah, that's one thing I have noticed. It hasn't been an issue a lot of the time, but every now and again I've noticed that I'd like the motors to have a more power or just more range of motion. You like those tilting shots to go down, you want to get low, you can sort of lock it, so you do that sort of lock shot where it goes forward like that and sticks to the subject going forward, so you can get that shot if you want to. Just sometimes I've found the motors to be a little bit weak and the range of motion a little bit limited, just because of the simple design of the gimbal and the way it folds up and stuff, but it hasn't been a massive issue a lot of the time. And I've already mentioned the face tracking needs to be sort of lowered down a little bit in the frame, but again, it's a software issue that could be sort of ironed out probably before the release of this. Still a couple of weeks till release as of filming this video, so I'm going to keep on testing it, and you know, overall I've been really, really impressed. As I mentioned at the top of the video, if you give me a list of all the stuff you'd expect from a mobile phone gimbal, this pretty much nails all of those. We've got the AI tracking, we've got the light, we've got the good application which works seamlessly and very, very well. It's got some really interesting features. It folds up, it's compact, it's light, it's got the built-in remote. That's something I haven't seen on any other gimbal before, and we've got the built-in tripod, a great battery life, great design. Also, considering this is a pre-release version, I've had no bugs, no sort of glitches, it hasn't just shut off on me. It's been very reliable, and that's what you want from a bit of tech at the end of the day. So yeah, I fully recommend this. It's a great mobile phone gimbal if that's something you're after. I will link it in the description down below. If I've got any discount codes as well, that'll be in the description or the pinned comment. Yeah, it's a great product from Hohem. I've had nothing but good experiences with a few of Hohem's products now, and I did actually use it with Hohem's mic. This is a mic 01, and it had no problem balancing with this plugged into the USB-C port. So if you're after a good microphone system to get great audio with your gimbal, this Hohem microphone system works seamlessly with this whole sort of setup. So worked great. Great product, fully recommend it. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. If you like these kind of videos, make sure you do check out this one over here, and you might like this one over there. See you soon, guys. Bye.